Why did you click on this video? Huh? You think it was a coincidence? There's no such thing as a coincidence when I'm speaking. It was your guilty conscience eating you from the inside, begging to be caught, like a criminal returning to the crime scene, sniffing around, trying to figure out if anyone's onto them. I'm that someone, and I'm onto you. I know what you did. You made some of these lazy dumbass recipes. What better way to start our food trend dissection series than with lazy recipes? Because lazy people will always be around and this trend will never fucking die. Okay, now I will show you some empathy. I understand why you would start with simple recipes like these. I get it. Cooking can be intimidating for a beginner, and I know that because I've been there. Everyone is afraid of looking like an idiot every time they start something new. I've embarrassed myself plenty of times. I've burnt a burnt Basque cheesecake. So these recipes are simple, non-threatening, idiot-proof, and everyone can make them. You know they work, so when you invite people over, you can be proud of yourself and be like, hey, did you know guys that I made this bread right here? But my friend, you're playing with fire here and you don't even know it. Because here's the thing, let's do a quick thought experiment together. Have you ever considered that maybe you're gonna fuck up those recipes too? You're now the person who messed up an idiot-proof recipe.
You idiot!
How do you screw up a no-bake, 2-ingredient chia seed pudding? How? That's like playing at the children's bowling lane with the guardrails up and somehow still throwing the ball in the gutter. How did you manage to do that? The staff at the bowling alley will tell that story to every new employee. You understand that, right? You cornered yourself and you got no excuse now. At least if you tried an actual recipe with no shortcuts, you would have had 100 excuses why it was not your fault. I couldn't find the right flour.
This butter was actually margarine and I didn't notice. My dog turned the stove on high when I was not looking.
Honestly, you've got a whole menu of scapegoats to pick from. But with these recipes, you open the menu and the only thing inside of it is a fucking mirror. And the reflection is laughing at your stupid ass. Now this is the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is that the recipe works, but what you did not anticipate is that the result is still shit. I mean, it might look good to you, but most people can tell you've cut corners. Look at this 2-ingredient bread. Look at it. This is what it looks like when the recipe works. To me, this looks like a fucked up bread. You know what else gives you fucked up bread? A proper bread recipe when you fuck it up. In both cases you're gonna get a shit result, but at least you actually tried making bread. What I'm trying to say is that you should have started off with the real bread recipe to begin with. Because what if you actually nail it? Now you know how to make actual bread. You know how you're never gonna know how to make bread? By doing this shit right here. Now all of these recipes are awful, but I've put them in categories because I want you to tell me which one of these categories is your favorite, just so I can block you after you like and share this video. Okay, are you ready? Let's dip our toes in the culinary sewage known as lazy recipes. Speaking of sewage, it would be a crime against comedy if I didn't start this list with dump cakes.
Have you ever had a dump cake?
As the name implies, they are indeed shit cakes, but not because of the ingredients or the effect on the digestive system. No, they're just called dump cakes because you just dump everything onto a tray and you bake it. Yeah, they can't even be bothered to mix the fucking cake batter. Do you know how satisfying it is to make a fluffy cake? Whip the eggs and sugar into a cloud of sweet, fluffy embryos. Sift the dry ingredients and watch them gently snow on top of the wet ingredients. Watching through the oven door the magic of a cake rising just through the power of tiny air bubbles trapped inside of the cake batter.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I kind of don't feel like it. Can we not just like dump all the ingredients in there? I don't want to be here. I really don't want to be here. I don't even like baking.
With so much passion, the results just speak for themselves. Now this category reminds me of the next category, because have you ever wanted to bake, but you didn't want to bake? Introducing our next category, no bake, no oven recipes. Now I'm gonna give a bit of credit to some of these recipes, and I actually have a controversial opinion. I think no bake cheesecakes taste better than baked cheesecakes. They're just more light and refreshing, and not that heavy. Having said that, a lot of the no bake recipes just make you ask, why? Either bake or don't. Just make something that you do have the equipment to do. I don't know, how about this no-bake cheesecake? At least you got the equipment for it. I'm not gonna go and make a creme brulee if I don't have a blowtorch, because all creme brulees made any other way are shit. So do something else. This next category, I'm not really sure why, but it doesn't bother me as much as taking a dump onto a tray and calling it a cake. I've had mud cakes a couple of times, I thought they were fine.
Mud.
What's that?
Mud cakes.
What do you mean?
It's mud, not mud.
Oh, for fuck's sake! There is literally just one excuse for me to give you a pass on this. You came home drunk at 2 a.m, your fridge looks exactly like your car does, either completely empty or just full of the most random junk you can think of, and there is no Deliveroo in your area. I'm not gonna judge you in this case. What do you think I am? A monster? But you are a disappointment to your grandpa if you do this in any other situation. This next category involves bread. If you've never made bread before, let me paint you a beautiful picture. You mix the ingredients and at first it's a sticky mess. Then you start kneading. The dough forms. You're developing that beautiful gluten your sister hates so much. The dough gets softer, stretchier, smoother. It proofs, it rises, it triples in size. You score it, you put it in the oven. The smell hits you like a spiritual experience. And then you take it out and it's beautiful and golden brown. You break it open. You don't use tools for this. You need to use your hands. The sexy steam comes out. You spread some butter on top, some salt, and you just fucking go to town. Sounds delightful, right? Well, fuck you and the donkey you rode in on. We're doing no knead, no yeast bread instead. How about that? Now this is the part where people will start calling me mean. But what about busy moms? But what about people on a budget? Supermarket bread is not expensive. If you are busy, you buy the bread. Done. The same logic applies to all of these low effort recipes. They're not cheaper, they're not faster, and they're not good. You think they're fast because you're inexperienced and you don't know any better. I could make 20 creme caramels faster than you can make 20 no-bake cookies on a pan. I'm not comparing myself to beginners here, but I'm trying to make a point. Lazy recipes are for people who want to cook, but also don't want to cook. Make up your fucking mind. These kind of recipes are holding you back. You think you like cooking now? You would like it way more if you actually knew how to cook. Clearly you have a spark, or you wouldn't be watching this. So just move on to real recipes already. Sure, you'll fuck them up, but that's how you learn. That's how it works. Anyway, back to the inappropriate jokes with the next category. 2 girls, 1 cupcake. No, wait, it was 2 guys, 1 bowl? Oh no, never mind. It's 1 bowl, 1 fork recipe. And there I was using 3 forks. What an idiot. These are recipes that are all made in 1 bowl. The annoying thing about them is that they're almost always cakes. And everyone acts like they've discovered some esoteric pastry knowledge from a secret book by doing the whole thing in 1 bowl. Yes, you can make a cake using 1 bowl. Add your wet ingredients, then you add the dry ingredients. Wow. Revolutionary, I know. And even after your magical 1 bowl ritual, you still have to take a spatula and scrape the whole thing, and then you need to put it onto a tray, and then you need to bake it, and wash every other damn thing you touched. So why did I waste my time watching this? Because you used 1 bowl less. Cool. Amazing. Historic. Still gotta go and wash all of this shit here. This next category is a bit different because it's not the recipes that are lazy, it's the entire culture around the equipment itself. The people who buy this thing, these are the same people who go on cruises or all-inclusive resorts in a sunny foreign country where there are no locals. Some of you are sitting on the edge of your seat right now. Yes, you, not your cat. You. Of course, we're talking about air fryer people. These are the people who just never research anything because if they actually did, they would just use their damn oven and save all of this counter space for other equipment. Equipment that isn't bulky, expensive, or completely pointless. For the money you spent on a pointless air fryer, you could have bought an ice cream machine and a deep fryer. You could have been doing fried food and ice creams and sorbets, respectively. And what did you do instead? You bought an air fryer to make healthy fried food. What you should have done was just buy a deep fryer and eat the food that you actually want to eat. Insane. That is just insane. That's like the same level of insanity as not buying an ice cream churner and buying a blender instead because you want to make healthy ice cream and sorbets. Can you imagine actually how ridiculous it would be if somebody actually... Well, fuck you and the donkey you rode in on. Oh my god, girl, these are so healthy, so yummy, so delicious. They taste better than the real thing. I'm never buying ice cream again. No, they are not, and no, they don't. If somebody sold you this healthy ice cream at an ice cream shop, you would run, don't walk, to your social media influencer account and you would make a long sob story about how traumatized the lack of value for money made you feel. But suddenly, if you take the same amount of money you spent at the ice cream shop and buy the ingredients and blend them yourself and churn them into your little shitty blender, suddenly it's delicious and amazing and everyone should make it and it's life-changing. Get out of here. Speaking of, I gotta go. Okay, fine, 5 more minutes. What can we talk about? Oh yes, 5-minute recipes. They're all shit unless it's eggs or some kind of breakfast. If you're not in the mood for eggs, again, you're not really cooking. You're just taking things out of the original packaging and mixing them with other pre-made things into a bowl. And knowing you, It's probably one bowl. If you really want to make these recipes, go ahead, be my guest. It will bring me enormous pleasure when you come back to me with your tail between your legs, head down, smelling of defeat and burnt Basque cheesecakes. I will pat you on the head and say, I forgive you. You were just a child, and I was right. Now leave before I call the cops on you. Unless you kindly support me on Patreon, so I can be the father figure in your life that I never had, but always wished I did.